My son often tells me creepy stories. He talks about meeting a boy who plays at our house, which was built in the early 1800s. This boy has a name I've never heard, and supposedly fell in with the pigs. We don't have pigs now, but the farm did at some point. My son says the boy got really hurt, but then was fine, and now he sees him around the property. He also mentions a girl who was playing outside. He says she had to lay down, but she didn't fall. It was really, really cold, and she couldn't get up. Then she went to sleep and died. Her parents cried a lot, but then she came back. They still cried because they couldn't see her. Creepy, right? But this is where it really got me. When we moved into this house, my son said there was a man in the driveway. I didn't see anyone, but he insisted he's right there. He's had moments like this before, at our previous home, but this time, he asked me to close the curtains because he's not nice. Today, I asked him if he remembered the man from the driveway. He said, yes, I didn't like him. He was not nice. I asked why, and he replied, he said not nice things. When I pressed him to tell me more, he said it's not safe for mamas and dadas to drive anymore. That's what he was saying, right there in the property with his car. I didn't like that. Here's the crazy part. There's a cross on my neighbor's land beside ours. A young man once crashed his car into a metal arch that used to be cemented at the road. The car flipped and landed on their property. The bent arch is still on our property because it's too big and heavy to move. It seems like the arch isn't the only thing lingering here. For context, we never watch scary ghost shows because I don't like them. I've had dreams of people who have passed trying to speak to me since I was a kid, and I've always tried to suppress it. I've definitely never encouraged it with my son. I had surgery a month ago, and ever since I woke up, I've been seeing dead people as shadows. They're just around. So far, it's only been my family, but it's definitely them. I see them. I've been battling an infection, so at first, I chalked it up to being sick. But last night, something happened that I couldn't ignore. I called my mom to tell her that my aunt, who passed a few weeks ago, came to me. I heard her whisper, "Psst, psst," followed by a giggle. Then she said, "Wake up." It was bizarre. She was as happy as could be and wanted to share something with me, almost like she wanted to play. She showed me herself hugging her parents. They were all so joyful. Then she showed me a vision of herself standing in the kitchen behind my parents, smiling and putting her hand on them. It felt like she wanted me to know she was at peace and entertained by the whole thing, which was so unexpected. When I told my mom about it, she gasped. Apparently, before my aunt fell ill, she had said to my mom that she was jealous of how Mom and I sometimes got visited in our dreams by family members to warn us of danger or tell us someone had passed. She joked that when she died, she'd have to come mess with us. As I was telling my mom how real and vivid all of this has felt, I explained that while we'd had small experiences before, I've never been more sure that this is real. I can truly see people who have passed. Initially, I was freaked out, but I'm starting to make peace with it. But one thing I still can't figure out is this. There's a 5-year-old girl who stands beside my bed most nights. I often wake up in the middle of the night, thinking it's one of my kids asking to get in bed with me, but it's not, because I don't have a 5-year-old girl. She loves to play her music box for me. I mentioned this to my mom and told her the only little girl I could think of was Dad's sister, but she was only 2 or 3 when she passed. My mom said, "I think she was 5. I argued, "No, she was 2 or 3. Go ask Dad." I'm 90% sure. So my mom went to ask my dad how old his sister was when she died. His response floored me. She was 5. I couldn't believe it. I asked him if she had a music box, and he said, "I don't know. I'll have to ask my brother." But she loved music and singing. Why? For weeks I'd been telling my husband that I didn't know a 5-year-old girl, so I couldn't figure out who this could be. But apparently I was wrong. It's been my Aunt Sophie all along. It makes so much sense now. I've always felt my granddad nearby, and she was his baby girl who passed. I'm absolutely floored. I was around 14 or 15 at the time, just a few days after Christmas. I grew up in an old mobile home that my father had purchased from his work at a mobile home dealership in Hooksett, New Hampshire, after it was repossessed. Growing up, I experienced strange, unexplainable things my entire life. After a while, you kind of get used to it, especially when you can't leave. I don't think we ever made peace or came to any sort of understanding with whatever was in our home. At least none that I'm aware of. My older sisters and I were pretty traumatized by that place. But we survived, and we're examples of how you can live through trauma and still carry on. On a side note, all 3 of us turned out to be strong individuals with a F around and find out attitude. But I digress. At the time, my mom was remarried, and we had a lovely Christmas. However, if you live in a haunted house, it's almost like you can sense something lurking in the shadows, waiting to mess with you after a period of quiet. That night, I went to bed as usual. I don't know what time it was, but I woke up needing to use the bathroom. I could hear my mom and stepfather snoring at the other end of the mobile home, where the bathroom was located across from their room. Not wanting to wake them, and knowing the quirks of my house, I got in the habit of turning on the lights, haunted or not. We lived in a wooded area with no street lights, just a dirt road, so it was pitch black outside. I got up and slid open my bedroom door. Yes, it was one of those roll-open doors, like the barn-style ones everyone loves now, but this one was cheap and hollow. Outside my door was the claustrophobic hallway. It was so narrow that even as a skinny teenager, I had only a couple of inches of clearance on either side. Turning left would take me to the living room, but I needed to turn right. Bam! I hit a wall. What? There shouldn't be a wall in the hallway. Confused, I turned left instead. Bam! I hit another wall, full face. At this point, I thought I must still be half asleep, so I turned completely around to go back into my room and turn on the light. I felt for the rolling door, found my bureau, tripped over my bed, and finally located the built-in wall light next to my bedroom window. I flipped the switch, but nothing happened. The light wouldn't turn on. Confused, I felt along the wall and found the window. I touched my bed. Yes, I was definitely in my room. I sat down, frustrated, because I still really needed to use the bathroom. I reached back up and tried the light again. Still nothing. I thought, great, the bulb must have blown when I turned it off earlier. With a sigh, I got up and felt around again, finding my bureau next to the door. I located the rolling door, opened it, and reached out into the hallway to feel for the window across from my room. Found it. Okay, I was definitely in the hallway now. I turned right, heading for the bathroom. Bam! Another wall. You've got to be kidding me, I thought. Frustrated, I realized I couldn't use the hallway light because the genius who designed the mobile home had placed the switch near the bathroom, just outside my mom's bedroom. Now angry because I really needed to pee, I suddenly heard a laugh. Oh no. I froze. Then I thought, okay, joke's on me. Annoyed, I said out loud, "Knock it off." I put my hands forward, and there was no wall. I rushed down the hall and found the bathroom. Not funny.